Hello YouTube friends, tonight you get Casual Bear on the couch again to give you this intro. I have two chicken dinners to share with you that I worked on this week. One is homemade chicken noodle soup and the other one is a spatchcocked lemon and rosemary chicken, both of which turned out really good this week, and the spatchcock chicken is the one that I got from Trader Joe's. So I thought you guys might like to see how that turned out and what we thought of it. I really liked it and I would definitely buy it again. Highly recommend. So I'm going to go ahead and share those with you. Definitely leave me all of your meal ideas down below, and you guys know I'll talk to you soon. Let's get into the video. Say good morning, friends.
Good morning, friends.
You look at the camera.
Yeah?
Look at me. Say good morning, friends.
Good morning, friends.
We're a little wild this morning because we're still in our jammies. Aren't these frog jammies too cute? Okay, so I have two chicken breasts in my crock pot here. And River's going to put the onions in, aren't you, River?
Yeah.
Okay, put the onions in. Grab those. And I have one chopped onion. We're going to throw it in the crock pot. Put it in. Put it in there. There we go. Okay, get another one. Throw it in. So we're going to put the whole onion in the crock pot. We're going to use salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. And I'm just going to let this cook low and slow all day on my crock pot. I have the 8-hour on low function, so I'm going to use that. And later on, we're going to turn this shredded chicken into chicken noodle soup. The good old-fashioned homemade kind. All right, keep going with the onions, River. So while River's throwing those in, I'm going to season up just a little bit our chicken breasts. Haha, trying to direct a toddler and film.
I can help you. I can help you to take.
So, and then a good amount of black pepper. It's funny, the chicken breasts are sticking together right now.
I can help you, Mom.
Yep, then get the onions. I need more onions. So we're just going to go ahead and season those up. Voila. And we're going to let this get cooking. So for our homemade chicken noodle soup, we're going to add a little bit of olive oil to the pan, about a tablespoon, 1 to 2 tablespoons, depending on the size of your pan. And I'm going to add to the pan okay, this is an Imperfect Foods mega carrot, so I did 1 carrot. Normal size carrots, probably 3. 1 medium sized onion, and I did 2 smaller size stalks of celery. So I'm going to add those all right into the pan. And I have this over medium-high heat. I just want to soften the veggies a little bit to get them started so that the soup doesn't take forever to make. Now I'm going to use 2 containers of chicken stock, whichever kind you have on hand. Don't mind the noise of the child in the background. We have 1 box of elbow macaroni. I like to use elbow noodles simply because my children, it's just easier for them to eat it on a spoon versus like the egg noodles that are a little bit bigger and harder for a kid to feed themselves. Alright, my mirepoix is already starting to smell very good. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and a good generous sized pinch of black pepper into my pan and give that a toss. I could actually even do a little more pepper, I think. Now, if you wanted to, you could add garlic powder and onion powder for even more flavor. I just love soups on a fall day. It's in the 50s here in Minnesota today, so it's definitely soup weather in my book. What is your favorite soup to make in the fall? Do you have one that you just go to each time? I make chicken noodle soup pretty often. For the fall and winter and even early spring months, I usually make a big pot of chicken noodle soup at least once a month. So now that my veggies are starting to soften and get a little bit of color, the onions are about translucent, we're going to go ahead and add the stock. We are also going to add the cooked chicken breast. Now this is 2 chicken breasts that I put in the crock pot. You already saw that. But I just took forks and shredded it up. This is a great cheat to do, is just put a whole bunch of chicken breasts in the crock pot with some onions and some seasoning, and then shred it up. And a lot of times I'll do that with a big package of chicken, and I'll use some of it for chicken noodle soup, and some of it I'll just put in containers and freeze, and that way when we want to do like barbecue chicken sandwiches, or I'm going to do a casserole, I already have cooked chicken on hand. It works great. So we're going to add all that chicken in. along with any of the broth that was in the crock pot. And I like to leave it in bigger pieces because as we stir the soup and it cooks down, that chicken is going to just kind of break apart on its own even more. So I like to still have some pieces in there for good texture. And then we're going to dump both containers of chicken stock right in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and cook the pasta separately so that it doesn't absorb all of the liquid from the chicken stock at the same time as it's cooking, because we don't want to end up with chicken noodle casserole. We want chicken noodle soup. So that is what I am doing with this second pot back here. So I'm just going to let this simmer while the pasta cooks, and then I'm going to give this probably about 20 minutes, basically just until the carrots are soft. And because our chicken is pre-cooked, this is actually going to come together quite quickly. Now, on the days when maybe I didn't get a chance to start the chicken beforehand, what I will do is I will bring my chicken broth to a boil, and at that point I would put the chicken breasts in and actually poach them in the chicken broth, so it gives the chicken itself more flavor and it adds flavor to the stock. And then I pull them out and just cut them or shred them, depending on how soft the chicken is. As long as it's cooked through, I'm good to go. So that just adds like a good 10 to 20 minutes. I don't really time it, I'm not gonna lie. I just kind of check it, cut it, and see if it looks like it's done. But you can always use a meat thermometer as well for food safety. So anyways, we're just gonna let this go for a while, cook the noodles, and I'll meet you back here in a bit. So each time I make soup, I always grab a spoonful of the broth and just test it when it's been cooking for a while to see if it needs any extra flavor. If it does, I will use either a bouillon cube, or better than bouillon is one thing that I usually try to keep on hand. I really like it. Let's taste it. I feel like it could use a little more chickeny flavor, and to be honest, it could use more salt, which often is not the case, but I do think it can. I am definitely going to add a little bit of black pepper. It just doesn't have a lot of flavor this time around. Some box stocks do and some don't. I'm going to add some onion powder, a large scoop of the better than bouillon, and just stir that in, sort of let it melt into the soup. You can hear my toddler talking in the background. Not sure who she's talking to. I'm pretty sure she's just talking to herself in there, but she's having a good old time no matter what. And then we're going to do some more black pepper. Good healthy pinch of that. Give it a stir. Now here are my cooked noodles. I just reserved them on the side so that they don't absorb too much of the broth and get mushy. Now if you like a softer noodle in your soup, for sure, go ahead and add it right into the pot, but I would actually add one more box of stock if you do that. So let that simmer a little bit, and then we will add a little pinch of salt in a minute after I test it again. Alright, so I already have some noodles in the bowl for one of the kids, and now we're just going to ladle some of the soup over top, making sure to get plenty of veggies in there so they're not just eating noodles. And here is what it looks like all finished. So nice big hearty chunks of carrot and chicken and noodles. It is going to be delicious.
So first I'm going to try the chicken. Good. Chicken's good.
Really, with that face? I'm not sure anyone on the internet's going to believe that. How are the noodles?
Okay. Carl is the most suspicious man alive. Yep, that's good.
All right,
That's really
Liam.
good.
Liam's turn. Okay, Liam, take a bite. What do you think?
It's actually really good. I really like this stuff. Although I will say it's very hot.
And River, what do you think?
I like it.
You like it? Okay, good. You give it a thumbs up?
Go boop. Go boop. There you go.
All right. All right, we're going to go finish our dinner. You guys have a good night. For tonight's dinner, I have the oven preheating to 375, and this is the whole lemon and rosemary spatchcock chicken that I got from Trader Joe's, which you probably already saw in my Trader Joe's haul. If not, I'll link that either up in the iCards or on the end screen at the end of this video. So I already have it in my large cast iron skillet, and I'm going to go ahead and put in some potatoes to roast along with that. Now I have some russet potatoes and some red potatoes. We just had a smattering of leftover ones, and so I'm going to just use those up. So to the potatoes, we're going to add some extra virgin olive oil. I get this at Costco, and I've been very happy with the quality of it, so we're going to pour a little bit of that over the potatoes. We're going to add garlic powder, onion powder, Lowry's seasoned salt, a little bit of smoked paprika, and black pepper to that. I don't really measure, I just sort of do pinches. And then I'm just going to literally set it right around the chicken after I give it a good toss to make sure that the potatoes are completely coated in the oil and all of the seasonings that I'm adding. And I like to go pretty easy on the smoked paprika because this can be pretty strong of a flavor when I use it. So, and if you didn't have it, you could certainly omit that and it would be just fine. It adds a nice smoky flavor and a little bit of color to the potatoes as well. So I'm just going to stir these all together, make sure everything's coated, and that there aren't any huge clumps of the seasoning on any one potato. And then this is going to bake according to the package directions of the chicken that I got. And it says to bake at 375 for 60 to 75 minutes. And then you're really just checking for that internal temperature of the chicken to be at 165. And I'm going to serve it with the haricot vert that I got also from Trader Joe's. So that is what the potatoes are looking like. And I'm just going to pour these around the chicken, and then if any of the lemon seasoning from the chicken kind of cooks onto the potatoes, then that is great, and that will just give everything a little bit more flavor. I'm just going to spread the potatoes around a little bit so everything has room to cook, and the best part is it's all right in my cast iron skillet, so that's going to make for a little bit easier cleanup when we're done. So I'm going to go ahead and get this into the oven, and I will show you what it looks like when it comes out. Alright, so I've got some butter and some olive oil sizzling away in the pan here, and I have a bag of the haricot vert from Trader Joe's, so I'm going to go ahead and dump those thin string beans right into the pan. These were pre-washed and ready to use. And then to that I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper, as well as some minced garlic here in just a second. So a little bit of salt, a little bit of black pepper, and then I've got a little lemon juice to just dash a little bit of that on the top when they are done. And here is how the chicken turned out right out of the oven. So spatchcock chicken and all the potatoes are looking delicious, and they smell amazing too. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep sauteing these green beans. Time for the official taste test.
All right.
Ready?
Wait, Mom. What do you think it picks in the eyes?
I think it's good. A total 4.5 stars.
4.5 stars out of 5?
Yep.
Okay.
What do you think?
Hi, sweetie.
I rate it pretty much the same.
And how about the chicken?
Chicken's definitely a 5.
I love you.
I love you too, sweetie.
Definitely 5 stars for
You're
the
gonna
chicken.
go sit in your chair.
Broccoli. Max, we can
You mean green beans?
5.5. Yeah.
What? No, it's 5 out of 5. That's the highest. All right, now try your green beans.
5 out of 5.
Oh, and
Same
Miss
with
River is climbing up to eat her dinner. We'll see. All right, and what should the YouTube friends do?
Like and subscribe. Make sure to hit the bell.
Yeah. How about with sour cream?
And share this with your friends. Even better with sour cream.
Right. Exciting, yummy.
The sour cream is yummy.
100 out of 15.
Okay, girl. Yeah, my daughter just said the sour cream is yummy. Slaved away for dinner, and the sour cream is delicious.